This shocking truth about destiny will change how you live. Did you know that at this very moment while you listen to these words, you are writing your destiny with every thought you choose to have? Or do you believe that your life is already completely written in some cosmic book, and that no matter what you do, everything is predetermined from before your birth? Dear seeker of truth, what you are about to discover in the next few minutes will forever destroy one of the most limiting beliefs that humanity has carried for millennia. A belief that has kept millions of souls trapped in resignation, in victimization, and in the false idea that they have no real power over their own existence. Because it turns out that the question is not whether you have destiny or free will. The real question is, are you willing to awaken to the divine power that resides within you to become the conscious co-creator of your own reality? More than 2,000 years ago, in a cave in the Himalayas, a young prince named Siddhartha had a revelation that would change humanity's spiritual understanding. Millennia later, masters like Paramhansa Yogananda brought this ancestral wisdom to the West, revealing secrets about destiny, karma, and free will that sacred scriptures had jealously guarded. But here's what's extraordinary. This wisdom isn't just ancient philosophy. It's practical spiritual science that can transform your life today. Right now, if you have the courage to apply it. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with an overwhelming sensation in your chest, wondering if you really have control over your life? Have you found yourself in moments of crisis thinking, was all this already written? Am I simply an actor performing a script established long before I was born? Or do you still possess the sacred power to change your story, to mold your future with your thoughts, your actions, and your deepest prayers? These aren't simply abstract philosophical questions that academics debate in dusty universities. They are deeply personal, visceral questions that touch the very core of what it means to be human. They are the questions we ask ourselves in moments of unbearable pain, when life feels unfair, and we want to blame something greater than ourselves. We ask them in moments of inexplicable triumph, wondering if we really deserved that blessing or if it was simply luck of destiny. And we ask them in those silent moments of stillness, when we find ourselves motionless, trapped between destiny and choice, unsure which inner voice to listen to. Most people live their entire lives without resolving this fundamental tension. They oscillate like pendulums between two equally limiting extremes. Either they resign themselves completely believing that their destiny is completely fixed, that everything from birth to death is predetermined by the stars, by implacable karma, or by a distant God who already wrote their story without consulting them. Or they go to the opposite extreme. They believe they have total control over everything, denying the existence of greater forces, karma, or any divine plan, leading them to frustration when life doesn't respond exactly as their ego demands. But what did the great realized masters really say? What did Paramhansa Yogananda, the beloved yogi and author of Autobiography of a Yogi, reveal about this ancient mystery that has confused humanity for eons? In this transformative journey we are beginning together, we will explore the truth about destiny, karma, and free will through Yogananda's timeless teachings, not as abstract theories, but as practical tools of spiritual liberation. You will learn whether your destiny is truly immutable, what exact role your past plays in your present, and most importantly, how you can rise above all limitations to live a life of authentic purpose, unshakable peace, and genuine divine joy. Come with your heart completely open, because what you will discover may challenge everything you believed you knew about your own existence. You are not simply a body walking blindly through destiny. You are a divine soul on a sacred journey toward the realization of your highest nature. And the answers you desperately seek are not in distant books or complicated teachings. They live within you, waiting to be awakened. What is destiny really? Yogananda's revelation. Let's begin with the first fundamental question. What is destiny really according to the profound teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda? This is where most religious and philosophical traditions have confused humanity for centuries. Some tell us that destiny is something arbitrarily imposed by a divine being sitting in judgment, distributing rewards and punishments according to his mysterious and unquestionable will. Other traditions insist that it's written in the stars by impersonal cosmic forces, that planets and constellations mechanically determine every event of your life like a giant celestial clock. And many organized religions have used the concept of destiny as a tool of control, telling people that their sufferings are God's will, and that they must accept them passively without questioning, without fighting, without growing. But Yogananda, speaking from the direct experience of divine realization, offers us a completely revolutionary perspective. He explained that destiny is not something randomly assigned by a distant divine being. It's not written in the stars by cosmic chance, nor is it a punishment or reward from some distant god who keeps celestial accounts. Instead, destiny is the direct result of your own past thoughts, conscious and unconscious actions, and desires both elevated and mundane. It's the natural unfolding of karma, that perfect universal law of cause and effect that governs every soul's journey through multiple incarnations toward final realization. In Yogananda's transformative words, man's destiny is not imposed by any outside power. He himself, by the misuse or correct use of his free will, makes or destroys his life. This means that what you call destiny is really a reflection of the decisions you have made in this life and in many previous lives. Every thought you choose to think, every action you decide to take, every intention you hold in your heart, all of these create specific and powerful vibrations that shape your future like a sculptor shapes clay. Destiny is not cosmic punishment. It is divine education. It is the infinitely compassionate universe reflecting your own inner being back to you, showing you the consequences of your decisions so you can learn, grow, and evolve toward higher levels of consciousness. Imagine a wise gardener planting seeds in fertile soil. If he sows wheat with care and devotion, he will harvest abundant and nutritious wheat. If he plants thorns through ignorance or negligence, he cannot expect to reap perfumed roses. In the same way, the situations of your current life are the direct harvest of the seeds you have planted with your consciousness, not only in this life, but through multiple incarnations of choices, thoughts, and actions. But here's the liberating key that will change your life forever. You are not bound by your past unless you choose to be. Karma can influence your present circumstances, creating certain tendencies or challenges, but it can never imprison your immortal and indestructible soul. Your soul is free. It has always been free. It will always be free. And from that essential freedom, you can choose how to respond to any circumstance, transforming even the most challenging experiences into opportunities for spiritual growth and awakening. This is why Yogananda urgently urged us to live consciously, to meditate deeply every day, and to align our personal will with divine will, not to escape destiny like spiritual cowards, but to rise above its limitations and reshape it from a higher level of consciousness. You are not a helpless victim of life. You are its conscious co-creator, working in divine partnership with the highest forces of the universe. Karma, the divine law that shapes your reality. Now that we understand destiny as the unfolding of past actions, let's dive deeper into the divine law that shapes it. Karma. This word has been so misunderstood in the West that many people use it incorrectly to justify passivity or to explain anything they don't understand. But Paramhansa Yogananda spoke of karma as a law that is perfectly just and at the same time profoundly compassionate. He described it as the law of cosmic justice, through which the universe maintains perfect balance and divine order in all dimensions of existence. Simply put, karma means action, and every action produces a specific and inevitable result. It's not about vengeful punishment or arbitrary reward distributed by cosmic judges. It's about learning, growth, and the constant evolution of the soul toward divine perfection. As Yogananda explained with crystal clarity, as you sow, so shall you reap. If you plant seeds of goodness, love, and truth, those energies will return to you multiplied in perfect time. If you plant negativity, greed, or violence, those patterns will also eventually bear fruit in your experience. Nothing is lost in this intelligent universe. Everything is recorded with perfect mathematical precision in what yogis call the Akashic records, that cosmic library where every thought, word, and action of every soul is inscribed forever. But here's the beautiful and liberating part. Karma is not final or fixed. It is fluid, dynamic, and completely transformable. Your past may have brought certain circumstances to your present life, creating what seems to be an inevitable destiny. But your conscious response in this present moment is creating your future right now, with every decision you make, with every thought you choose to hold, with every emotion you allow or transform. Karma is not a chain to bind you like a cosmic prisoner. It's a divine ladder to help you rise to higher levels of consciousness and spiritual realization. Yogananda gave deep hope to all seekers when he declared with divine authority, If you planted weeds yesterday, you can plant roses today. If you created problems in the past, you can create solutions in the present. This means that you are never ever hopelessly trapped. No matter how dark your past may seem, how many mistakes you may have made, or how much dense karma you may be carrying, you can create new energy, new causes, new results starting right now. With right thinking, right action, and especially with deep meditation and constant connection with God, even the darkest karma can be purified, transmuted, and transformed into luminous wisdom, genuine compassion, and indestructible spiritual strength. Karma teaches us not to fear destiny with cowardice, but to understand it with wisdom, and most importantly, to take complete responsibility for it. Life is not happening to you as a passive victim. Life is happening through you as a conscious co-creator. And once you fully understand this transformative truth, you begin to awaken your true power. The power to consciously direct your own soul's journey toward absolute freedom. Free will, your divine gift to change destiny. Now we come to one of the most important questions a spiritual seeker can ask, a question that has kept philosophers awake for millennia. Do I really have free will? Can I truly change my destiny? Or am I doomed to repeat patterns established eons ago? According to Paramhansa Yogananda, speaking from the authority of direct divine realization, the answer is a clear, compassionate, and absolutely empowering yes. He taught that although karma may set the stage of your life, free will decides completely how you act on that stage. You may have been born with certain specific conditions, in a particular family, with certain tendencies or challenges inherited from the past, but how you respond to them is entirely under your conscious control. That power of conscious choice is your most sacred divine gift. It wasn't given to you by accident. It is the spark of divinity itself operating through your individual soul. As Yogananda declared with profound conviction, free will is given to man to escape from the results of bad actions by performing good actions and meditating on God. In other words, your soul has not been abandoned to destiny like a ship without a rudder in a cosmic storm. You are not a prisoner of your past, bound by invisible karmic chains, unless you choose to be through ignorance or spiritual laziness. With every conscious decision you make, you can rise above the limitations that once held you captive. With every moment of awakened presence, you can break old patterns and establish new pathways of infinite possibility. Think of it this transformative way: karma is like a moving train. Your past may have placed you on a particular track, heading toward a certain destination that seemed inevitable. But your free will is the sacred switch that can completely change direction. With authentic spiritual courage, with disciplined self-effort, with awakened divine consciousness, you can change from living unconsciously as a karmic robot to creating consciously as a free soul working in partnership with God. Yogananda emphasized the immense power of consistent spiritual practice. Through deep daily meditation, sincere prayer from the heart, and right living aligned with divine principles, you begin to cleanse old karmic patterns that have been operating automatically for lifetimes. You become calm instead of reactive, clear instead of confused, centered instead of scattered, and from that inner space of peace and clarity, you begin to make decisions that elevate you instead of limiting you, that liberate you instead of binding you. So yes, dear soul, destiny may influence where you begin your journey, but it definitely doesn't decide where you end. You are not simply a product of yesterday, dragging the dead weight of the past forever. You are the conscious creator of tomorrow, sculpting your future with every thought you choose to think and every action you decide to take today. The difference between personal destiny and divine plan. Now let's delve into a subtle but extraordinarily beautiful truth that can completely transform your understanding of how life operates. What is the difference between personal destiny and divine plan? Paramhansa Yogananda taught that while personal destiny is shaped by your own past actions and accumulated desires, there exists a higher plan, a sacred divine blueprint, that governs every soul with perfect wisdom and unconditional love. This divine plan is not based on vengeful punishment, nor on capricious reward, but on awakening. Its goal is singular and perfect, to guide you back to your eternal home in God, where you have always belonged. Yogananda explained that your soul has taken countless forms through multiple lives, tirelessly seeking true joy in the external world. Through pleasure and pain, success and failure, gain and loss, karma slowly teaches the soul that true and lasting happiness doesn't come from the changing material world, but from within, from conscious union with the divinity that resides in the heart of your being. In this sacred sense, your personal destiny may involve wealth or poverty, fame or anonymity, struggle or ease, but none of these external conditions constitute your true purpose. They are simply the changing scenery where your soul learns its eternal lessons. Your real destiny is not what happens to you in the external world. It's what awakens within you. As Yogananda declared with spiritual authority, your true destiny is not material wealth or worldly fame. It is to realize your eternal oneness with God. The divine plan is never separate from your daily life. It flows silently behind every experience you have, calling you inward with infinite love and perfect patience. Even your most challenging karmic struggles are part of this compassionate plan. They humble the proud ego, awaken genuine compassion for others' suffering, and impel you to seek higher answers. Ultimately, all experiences lead you to seek God directly. So while karma creates the outer script of events and circumstances, the divine plan silently guides the inner evolution of your soul toward perfection. And once you begin consciously aligning your personal will with that higher purpose, you no longer live in fear of destiny as a helpless victim. You begin to live with unshakable faith, with authentic freedom, and with the deep peace that comes from knowing you are loved, guided, and protected by the greatest power in the universe. Can a guru or God change our destiny? Now we come to a sacred and deeply hopeful question that touches the heart of every sincere seeker. Can a genuine guru, or God himself, change our destiny? Does divine grace really exist? Or are we completely alone navigating our karma? Paramhansa Yogananda's answer was filled with both infinite compassion and practical divine wisdom. He declared with absolute certainty, God's grace is more powerful than karma. This means that no matter how heavy your past may be, how many mistakes you may have made, or how much dense karma you may be carrying, there exists a higher power that can lift you beyond all of that with love that transcends all limitations. You see, karma operates according to the divine law of perfect justice, but divine grace flows from pure divine love. And love is not mechanical or impersonal. Love is consciousness, compassion, and direct connection between your soul and the infinite source of all existence. When a soul begins to sincerely yearn for God, to walk the spiritual path with genuine humility, loving discipline, and pure devotion, that soul automatically begins to attract divine grace like a spiritual magnet. And what exactly is grace? It is the direct intervention of the divine in your life, the sacred light that can burn karma faster than ordinary time could process it. It may not always erase every external challenge from your life, but it gives you the inner strength, mental clarity, and deep peace to transcend any circumstance with spiritual dignity. Yogananda explained that the guru, the true spiritual teacher sent by God, plays a key role in this sacred process. He said with authority based on direct experience, the guru has the divine power to take upon himself the karma of the disciple, to accelerate his spiritual liberation. But this only happens when the disciple is deeply sincere, completely willing to surrender the personal ego and follow the guru's guidance. Not blindly like a fanatic, but with intelligent faith, constant inner effort, and developed spiritual discrimination. In the presence of a true guru, karma is not denied or ignored. It is purified and transformed. Through deep meditation taught by the guru, pure devotion cultivated in his presence, and constant attunement to his elevated consciousness, the disciple's burdens are progressively lightened, not through cowardly escape, but through real alchemical transformation. So yes, destiny can definitely be changed. Not through blind chance or accidental luck, but through conscious grace, through divine love, and through your deep and direct connection with the infinite. God does not bind you with limitations. He waits patiently for you with completely open arms, ready to receive you home when you are prepared to consciously return to your true divine nature. The definitive answer. Is your destiny really pre-written? Finally, we arrive at the beating heart of the question that has guided us through this transformative journey. Is your destiny truly pre-written in an immutable way, or not? From everything we have explored through the transformative wisdom of Paramhansa Yogananda, the answer becomes both profound and crystal clear. Yes, certain aspects of your life may be influenced by past karma, the actions you have set in motion in this life and in many previous ones. These create tendencies, patterns, and circumstances that may seem already written when you are born into this world. Your family, your country, your physical body, certain natural talents or challenges. These may be influenced by decisions your soul made in previous incarnations. But that is not the end of your story. That is only the starting point. Yogananda taught with absolute clarity that you are not your karma. You are the eternal soul behind it. And the soul is never bound, limited, or condemned. It is free by essential nature, eternal by divine design, and one with God by inalienable spiritual right. Your destiny is not a locked prison. It is a living and dynamic current. And with the divine tools of conscious free will, disciplined spiritual practice, pure devotion, and constant inner awakening, you can direct the course of your life toward destinations you cannot even imagine now. As he declared with transformative power, "Live nobly today." That is the only way to write a better future. This means that your future is not fixed in cosmic stone. It is alive, dynamic, and responds instantly to the energy you project through your conscious thoughts, your deliberate decisions, and especially through your awakened inner consciousness. Even the strongest and most apparently immutable karma can be transformed by deep meditation practice consistently, selfless action performed with love, and above all, by divine grace that flows naturally toward every soul that sincerely seeks it. So, dear precious soul, do not fear life's script as if you were a helpless victim. You are not simply an actor performing a role that others wrote for you. You are the conscious co-author of your own story, working in divine partnership with the supreme intelligence of the universe. And the divine is your silent but constant partner, always ready to guide your pen toward freedom, peace, and the realization of your highest nature. Your past may have shaped the beginning of your story, but your awakened consciousness, your loving effort, and your complete surrender to the divine will shape the ending. And that ending must be absolute freedom, unconditional love, and infinite joy. The power of conscious transformation. Once you deeply understand this liberating truth about destiny and free will, a practical question naturally arises. How do I actually apply this wisdom in my daily life? How do I move from understanding intellectually to actually experiencing the power to transform my destiny? Paramhansa Yogananda was not just a philosopher speaking from academic ivory towers. He was a practical spiritual scientist who gave specific techniques and proven methods to help sincere souls apply these transformative truths in concrete and measurable ways. First fundamental principle: present moment awareness. Yogananda emphasized that real power always exists only in the present moment. The past no longer has power over you except through the thoughts you choose to hold about it now. The future doesn't yet exist except as potentiality waiting to be shaped by your present decisions. Every breath is a new opportunity, he frequently reminded his students. Every thought is a step forward or backward in your spiritual evolution, and every sincere prayer invokes the light that can guide you beyond all limitation. Second principle: meditation as spiritual technology. For Yogananda, meditation wasn't just relaxation or a pleasant spiritual hobby. It was the most precise science for purifying karma and awakening your inner divine power. Through deep and consistent meditation, you begin to directly experience your nature as a free soul, beyond all limiting identifications with the body, mind, or external circumstances. From that experience of inner freedom, you automatically begin to make decisions that reflect that freedom in your external life. Third principle: selfless service as karmic accelerator. One of the most powerful ways to transmute negative karma and create positive karma quickly is through loving service to others without expectation of personal reward. When you serve with genuine love, you automatically transcend the consciousness of the separate ego that creates most karmic problems. You connect with the universal unity that is your true nature, and from that connection, positive karma flows naturally. Fourth principle: constant spiritual discrimination. Yogananda taught the importance of developing clear discernment between the real and the unreal, the permanent and the temporal, what elevates the soul and what limits it. With every decision you face during the day, you can ask yourself, does this choice bring me closer to God or further away? Does it expand my consciousness or contract it? Does it come from love or from fear? Gradually, this constant discrimination becomes automatic, and you naturally begin to choose thoughts, words, and actions that elevate both your own consciousness and that of those around you. Living as a conscious co-creator. The deepest transformation occurs when you shift from asking what's going to happen to me to declaring what am I going to create with the life I've been given. This shift from victim to conscious creator doesn't happen overnight. It requires constant practice, patience with yourself, and above all, unshakable faith in your inherent divine nature. Yogananda taught that the first step is recognizing that you are already complete. You don't need to become something you're not. You need to remember what you have always been, a unique and irreplaceable expression of infinite divine consciousness. From this understanding, every life experience becomes a sacred opportunity to express that divinity more fully. Challenges are no longer obstacles that block you. They become spiritual training that strengthens your soul muscles. Difficult relationships transform into opportunities to practice unconditional love. Financial setbacks become invitations to develop faith and detachment from the material. Physical illnesses can awaken deep compassion for both yourself and others who suffer. When you live as a conscious co-creator, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I use this experience to grow spiritually and better serve the divine plan?" The spiritual science of changing patterns. One of the most practical aspects of Yogananda's teachings on destiny involves the scientific understanding of how to change mental and emotional patterns that have been operating automatically for years or even lifetimes. He explained that most people live in mental grooves, habitual thought patterns that have deepened through constant repetition, like paths that become more defined the more we travel them. These mental grooves automatically attract experiences that match their vibration. If you have deep grooves of fear, you unconsciously attract situations that confirm your fears. If you have grooves of victimization, you magnetically attract experiences where you feel powerless. But here's the beautiful spiritual science. You can consciously create new mental grooves that attract completely different experiences. Not through superficial positive thinking or mechanical affirmations, but through deep spiritual practice that actually transforms your consciousness from within outward. The main technique Yogananda taught was conscious concentration on the positive opposite. When you notice a negative mental pattern arising, fear, anger, resentment, hopelessness, immediately concentrate intensely on its positive opposite. Faith, love, forgiveness, hope. Don't just think about the positive quality, but actually feel it in your heart. Visualize it filling your entire being, and maintain that concentration until the positive vibration becomes stronger than the negative one. With constant practice, you gradually create new and deeper mental grooves that automatically attract experiences aligned with higher states of consciousness. Yogananda also taught the power of creative visualization with feeling. Don't just imagine the results you desire, but combine clear visualization with genuine emotion of gratitude, as if you had already received those blessings. This practice is not magical thinking or manipulation of the universe. It is conscious alignment with spiritual laws that are already operating constantly. You are simply learning to consciously cooperate with forces that have always been available to you. The mystery of divine synchronicity. As you begin to live more consciously and align your will with divine will, you start to notice something extraordinary. Life begins to flow with a synchronicity that seems almost miraculous. The right people appear at the perfect time. Opportunities present themselves just when you need them. Resources materialize in unexpected ways. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable suddenly dissolve or transform into disguised blessings. Yogananda explained that this is not coincidence or blind luck. It is the invisible hand of divine providence, working through natural laws to support those who sincerely seek to live in harmony with higher purpose. He called this phenomenon the law of spiritual attraction, which operates at a much deeper level than the commercialized versions we often see today. It's not about getting what your ego wants, but about automatically attracting everything your soul needs for its evolution toward God. When your motive is pure, when you truly desire to grow spiritually, serve others, and realize your divine nature, the entire universe conspires to support you. Not because you deserve special treatment, but because you are aligned with the natural flow of life that always moves toward greater love, wisdom, and unity. This divine synchronicity often requires that you release obsessive control over how you think things should happen, and that you develop deep faith that infinite intelligence knows better than your limited mind what is the perfect timing and perfect method for each blessing. Paradoxically, the more willing you are to surrender your personal plans in favor of divine will, the more perfectly circumstances unfold in ways that surpass your wildest expectations, transforming suffering into wisdom. One of Yogananda's deepest teachings about destiny involves the spiritual understanding of suffering. Many religious traditions teach that suffering should be avoided at all costs, or resignedly accepted as God's will. But Yogananda offered a third revolutionary perspective. Suffering can be consciously transformed into spiritual wisdom and genuine compassion through the correct response of awakened consciousness. He taught that all suffering at its deepest level arises from the illusion of separation, the false belief that we are separate, limited, and vulnerable beings in a hostile or indifferent universe. When you experience physical pain, emotional loss, or mental disappointment, you can choose two fundamental responses. You can contract into identification with that experience, allowing it to define your identity and limit your consciousness, or you can expand into understanding that you are the eternal consciousness that is observing that temporary experience. In the very moment of the most intense suffering, if you can maintain even a small part of your attention centered on your nature as a mortal soul observing the experience, you automatically begin to transform that suffering into spiritual strength. Don't deny the pain or pretend it doesn't exist. Acknowledge it completely, honor the legitimate human experience, but simultaneously maintain your identity centered on the reality that you are much vaster than any temporary experience you may be having. Yogananda frequently said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." Pain is the natural experience of living in a physical body in a world of duality. Suffering is the mental story we add to pain, the resistance, the self-pity, the anger against life. When you can experience pain without adding unnecessary mental suffering, you not only reduce your own agony, but you develop genuine and deep compassion for all beings who are navigating their own karmic challenges. This compassion born of direct experience becomes one of your most precious gifts to the world, allowing you to serve others from a place of authentic understanding rather than superficial sympathy. The art of divine surrender. Perhaps Yogananda's most liberating teaching about destiny is his instruction on divine surrender, not as defeated passivity, but as the most powerful spiritual action a human being can perform. Genuine surrender doesn't mean giving up your responsibilities or stopping your efforts. It means doing your best effort with total dedication, and then completely releasing your attachment to results, trusting that divine wisdom knows better than your limited mind what is truly best for your soul. As Yogananda expressed it beautifully, do your utmost duty, and then remain at peace, knowing that whatever comes is exactly what you need for your highest spiritual growth. This practice of active surrender instantly transforms your relationship with destiny. You no longer struggle against life as an enemy that must be conquered. You partner with life as a divine dance in which you participate with grace, creativity, and absolute trust in the fundamental goodness of the universe. Surrender also frees you from the exhausting burden of trying to control factors that are beyond your direct influence. You can influence your destiny through your consciously chosen thoughts, decisions, and actions, but you cannot nor need to control every variable in the complex tapestry of life. When you surrender the how and when to divine providence, while maintaining clear intention about the what, your spiritual growth and loving service, you experience a freedom and peace that transcends all external circumstances. This surrender is not a one-time practice, but an art that develops gradually through thousands of small daily acts of trusting higher wisdom, instead of insisting that life conform to your limited plans. Inspirational closing. Your journey to mastery of destiny. As we come to the end of this profound journey of understanding about destiny, karma, and free will, I invite you to take a sacred pause and reflect with your heart completely open. What part of this transformative truth touched your soul most deeply? Was it the recognition of the power of your divine free will? The understanding of karma as compassionate cosmic education? The realization that divine grace can lift any limitation? Or perhaps the revelation that you are already a conscious co-creator working in sacred partnership with the highest forces of the universe? Remember this fundamental truth. You are not powerless, no matter how fixed your life circumstances may seem. Every breath you take is a new opportunity to consciously choose your response. Every thought you think is a step forward or backward in your spiritual evolution. And every sincere prayer you offer from your heart invokes the divine light that can guide you beyond all apparent limitation. As Yogananda frequently reminded us with infinite love, God is right behind your thoughts, right behind your feelings, patiently waiting for you to turn inward and recognize Him as your true nature. Your destiny is not being written in some distant cosmic book by forces you don't know. It is being created in this very moment by how you choose to live, love, serve, and awaken to the reality of who you really are. If this video has offered you clarity, peace, or even a small glimpse of your own infinite spiritual strength, I wholeheartedly encourage you to share it with someone who may also be seeking these transformative answers about the purpose and real power of human existence. And please take a sacred moment to write in the comments, what is one belief about destiny that has changed for you after hearing these teachings? Your authentic words may be exactly the light another soul needs to remember their own divine power. And if you wish to continue exploring such timeless wisdom through the eyes of great realized masters like Paramhansa Yogananda, don't forget to subscribe and join this sacred community of truth seekers committed to realizing their highest nature. Together, let us walk this path with deep sincerity, inner stillness, and unconditional love, not only for our own growth, but for the elevation of the entire human family toward the peace, wisdom, and unity that is our highest collective destiny. Until we meet again in this sacred space of mutual learning and transformation, stay connected with the divine light that resides eternally within you. Live each day with awakened consciousness and clear purpose, and trust completely that the divine is guiding every step of your journey back home, to the conscious recognition of your eternal oneness with the love that is the source and substance of all that exists. The power to transform your destiny is not in the stars, not in past karma, not in external circumstances. It is within you. It has always been within you, and it will always be within you. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly. Use it now. May divine grace bless you abundantly on your journey toward absolute freedom. Jai Gurudev. If this message touched your heart and helped you better understand the journey, remembering that it is part of your karma and your spiritual growth, support our work with a super thanks so we can continue creating transformative content with topics that inspire, help people, and bring more light to each life. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if it resonates with you, and share it with your friends so our message reaches wherever it's needed.